Oh, gotta change the lights. This ain't no DS9. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. There we go.
This ain't no DS9. This is the next generation. You excited to finish this two-parter? Unless, what if this is a three-parter? What if TNG said, not so fast?
Oh, okay, young boys. You guys want to do a little three-parter change the game? Well, guess what? We're doing a four-parter. I don't know. I remember ending the episode and feeling, okay, the Enterprise was shot at.
I was enthralled in the story itself.
Yeah.
I was interested.
And
it just ended.
Yeah. I'm just curious, what is so massive about this story or important about this story that it delegates and needs a two-parter? Not to say that every two-parter we've had has been, holy shit, this is huge, we need a two-parter. It makes me wonder what the behind-the-scenes choice was. I mean, we won't find out until we find out what the hell this Khan ripoff is trying to do with these artifacts. With these Romulan artifacts.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out right now. Episode 5.
Last time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah, I gotta get a better look at this Romulan now, knowing that it's fucking Saavik.
Baran wouldn't last 5 minutes as captain.
Oh my god, it is her.
Yeah, I wasn't lying.
She just looks so young. I mean, I guess she was young in the movies, and it's not that long from this, but...
Star Trek 3 was, what, 84? Oh, and you're wearing the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's say she was, like, late 20s in the 80s. This would be just about a decade later. So, yeah, she'd still be pretty young. Especially with this cast. You know, I was thinking in Star Trek, you would assume that aging, like, life expectancy is longer. So it's like, why don't they cast younger actors but just say they're older? You know what I mean?
That's a good point, yeah.
Hit to the starboard nacelle. Still, no appreciable damage.
It is now up to us to play along.
I mean, we literally knew before that it was like a message trick from Riker, so there was no stakes. There was no...
Yeah.
It was literally like the episode just stopped.
We cannot track them with our sensors if they go to warp. I can still disable them by...
I'm aware of the tactical situation, Lieutenant.
Worf, it's a goddamn work. Calm down. All right.
Inform Starfleet Command that we will hold position until further notice.
So, we are just going to remain here. If we had not let them escape, this would not be necessary.
That is correct. But I believe Commander Riker wanted us to let them escape.
Betrayed them in order to save yourself.
Oh, Ronald stepping in.
Now you're a traitor and a coward. How does that feel?
I don't know. How did that feel?
Why haven't you ever left the Enterprise?
Had to give him a receipt for earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Part of your wonders, was any of that genuine? Like, did he want to fucking hit him because of what he was saying? But also the receipt as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, do you think Picard sold the punch, or did he really knock him on his ass?
It should be obvious that by alienating Riker, you also alienate Baran, and yet you continue to do so. Why?
I don't have to answer your questions. Whatever it is we're looking for, it seems that we've found it.
Galen's made a positive Terracon match on one of the artifacts.
Good. Bring it to me immediately.
She had that Apple Watch communicator.
And you can start by putting aside your dislike for Galen becoming his friend. Galen has allies on this ship. I want you to find out from him who they are. When the time comes, I want you to kill Galen.
Now Riker has to explain to Picard, okay, now he told me to be friends with you.
It would take them at least 14 hours to reach that position.
We could be there in 5. Make it so.
Finally. Course for the Hyrulean sector and engage at warp 9.
Aye, sir.
That was an interesting look between them.
Yeah.
May I see you in the ready room?
Of course.
Oh, Jesus. Fucking Data about to yell at him?
Lieutenant, I am dissatisfied with your performance as first officer.
May I ask in what way?
You continually question my orders in front of the crew.
I have always felt free to voice my opinions.
That is true. But in those situations, you were acting as head of security, not as first officer.
Ooh.
Is is it not my duty to offer you alternatives?
Yes. But once I have made a decision, it is your job to carry it out. Any further objection should be given to me in private. I do not recall Commander Riker ever publicly showing irritation with his captain as you did a moment ago. I expect you to conform to the guidelines I have laid out. Dismissed. Mr. Worf,
God damn.
I am sorry if I have ended our friendship.
It is I who has jeopardized our friendship, not you. If you will overlook this incident, I would like to continue to consider you my friend.
I would like that as well.
Just like a Picard Riker scene where it's like tough at first, goes to walk away. Wait, Worf.
And you see he did the Picard maneuver at the
Oh,
end.
did he?
There.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
But even Picard's not that cold.
Yeah, no, that was cold as shit.
You're supposed to verify its authenticity. Then I'm supposed to kill you. Then I take your place.
Well, you always seem to be after my job.
You will tell me who you really are and what you are doing on the ship, or I will kill you right here.
My name is Mr. Mott.
I'm a barber.
I found the message you sent to the Enterprise.
Oh.
You're a Starfleet officer. Do not deny it.
He's trying to stay in character.
My name is actually T'Pol, and I am a member of the Vishar.
Oh.
Huh.
Or she could be bluffing. But Vulcans never bluff.
I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Enterprise.
For several years now, there has been a small but growing movement of extreme isolationists on Vulcan. This group advocates the total isolation of Vulcan from the rest of the galaxy.
The square? Get it? Circle. Square.
They rip them off.
Yeah.
A device which focuses and amplifies telepathic energy. It is one of the most devastating weapons ever conceived. I cannot allow the resonator to be assembled. If necessary, I will destroy this ship, all of us, to prevent that from happening.
Damn.
Fair enough. So she is a Vulcan, pretending to be a Romulan, and still not Saavik. And now I know you were thinking, well, Saavik existed a long time ago. Scotty was in the show last season. Figure it out.
Robin, you haven't aged a day. In fact, you look even younger.
This is Lieutenant Commander Data of the Federation Starship Enterprise.
Kora.
Are you okay? He seems very high, sir.
A little delayed.
May I inquire as to your destination?
No.
Perhaps I have not made our intentions clear. We are investigating.
Now that's how you do a Klingon performance.
May I recommend that we bring the shuttlecraft aboard with our tractor beam, search it, and interrogate Corral.
We cannot board or search his vessel without cause.
Yes, sir. The treaty does give us the right to conduct health and safety inspections on any ship in our space.
Ah. Little loophole.
I'm not certain that using this clause would be consistent with the spirit of the treaty.
Yes, sir.
He can file a protest with the Judge Advocate General's office. Bring the shuttle aboard.
Hey!
Aye, sir.
Oh, nice.
Data would be such a great captain, dude. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, yeah, it would. He's got every regulation right there. This guy's fucking huge. I mean, I know he's standing high, but still, even if he wasn't.
Yeah, he looks pretty big.
Health and safety inspection.
That's right.
Oh, great shot.
Biochemical contamination, other health hazards.
Think they had to get like a crane or what for that shot? I wonder. Or just someone standing on top of this prop.
Yeah, you know, they have those camera rigs where they can... Holy shit!
Massive.
Well, no radiation so far. I'm sure you're glad to hear that. Right.
We have to take a risk that you won't change your mind and betray us.
If you're so worried about Riker, then you can go on the raiding party and watch him.
Okay.
Right into the trap.
Draw weapons and equipment for a raiding party of 5.
How about a party of 3? Me, Riker, and the Romulan.
Once you've found that artifact, kill him.
The idea, I mean, this guy, I know he's not supposed to be a great leader, so he's obviously stupid, but, like, the idea that you would let Riker go back to the Enterprise, I mean, I know you have a thing on his neck, but
Yeah.
damn.
May I ask what business you're in?
Of Klingon blood wine. I believe you will find it to your liking.
Oh.
That's not very nice.
Honest it is, we can't just...
Oh, there we go.
Oh!
I've had a change of profession.
It's not in here. Hey, you. Where's the artifact?
Sorry about this.
Oh! And he was genuinely sorry. It's cool they had the 2 different transporting effects.
Yeah.
This is it.
Oh! Deanna's like, what the hell's going on?
Is he dead?
Yes.
Good.
Activate the transporter.
Oh, wow, he's going back.
Oh, shit.
He's only stunned.
I must admit, I am experiencing a similar sensation.
This is going to take a little time to explain.
I have something else for you, Baran.
Oh! He's gonna do that mutiny.
You betrayed us.
Doesn't he still have the button?
Yeah.
It is time that we had a new commander. Who's with me?
Damn, just like that.
Jesus.
He can literally kill all of you.
I don't have to kill you all. Just you, Galen.
Let's bum rush his ass.
Yeah, no, you're all just standing there. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, what?
I switched the transponder codes.
How'd you do that?
Yeah, you just do that the whole time?
Orders?
Maintain our present course and speed for now.
Picard's captain of this ship now.
He's just born for the role, no matter what situation. He just always ends up there.
I know that one of your operatives has been on a mercenary ship, investigating the possible reassembly of the psionic resonator.
Commander, I believe there's a problem. We have no operative aboard a mercenary ship.
She was bluffing. She really bluff about all of that? Did she just come up with that whole story on the spot? Holy shit.
There's still time to reveal that it's Savick.
She could be a Vulcan, but just lying about what Vulcan.
As soon as she's got those artifacts, she'll leave you behind to be captured by Starfleet.
All I care about is my money. Narek and I will go with you to the surface to guarantee that we receive our payment. Bring him as well. We'll use him as a hostage if Starfleet arrives. If not, we'll kill him on the surface.
Okay, and it went a lot better than I could have. For Picard.
This is less than half of what we were promised.
You will get what you deserve.
Oh, whoa!
What? Oh.
Why are you moving out of the way? Oh!
Listen to me, all of you. Drop your weapons. Do it.
No, okay.
But I can see the symbol, and it is the Vulcan symbol for peace. That the power of the resonator can be overcome by peace.
I don't know if Worf can do that.
Yeah, that might be tough. Yeah!
There we go, Worf. So she was a Vulcan? I guess she was one of those extremists, like you said?
Yeah, for the rest of the isolation. Yeah, she was one of the isolationists.
What will become of the resonator, sir?
Satok has assured me that all 3 pieces will be destroyed.
Why does it need to be destroyed? It doesn't even work.
If it gets in the wrong hands, it could be really bad.
Wait a minute. You've been declared dead. You can't give orders around here.
You have been declared a renegade. In fact, I believe you are facing 12 counts of court-martial offenses.
I'll go and get some sleep. And, Mr. Data, I suggest that you escort Commander Riker to the brig.
This way, sir.
Data, he was joking. Data?
Oh,
man.
Oh, talk about ending strong. Holy shit.
That might be the best comedic ending in all of Star Trek.
Oh, that's good. That's really...
We just watched the 2-part episode Gambit, Part 1 and Part 2 of TNG, and we are going to talk about it. But first, our whiteboard reactions. For me, solid 2-parter.
Yeah, you don't need to see my... No. I wish I could punch my boss, and then I wrote, should have been Saavik. I'm not sure if I spelled it correctly. S-A-A?
I think you did.
V-I-K?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you did, to the best of my memory.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't, I saw Robin Curtis's name, and then I'm looking at this Romulan, bearing very, very similar resemblance. Maybe it didn't stick out because I was kind of looking at everyone in this episode and thinking, I think that person's been in a Star Trek episode. I think that person's been in Star Trek before. Especially Baran. I thought for sure he was in something, but he wasn't. I even scrolled all the way back to 66 to see if he was in TOS, and I didn't see anything. But I was right that Admiral was the same one that was in Deep Space Nine on the view screen.
Nice.
That Riker was talking to. So just right around the same time, he jumped from set to set to get his Admiral scenes out of the way.
Yeah, I wonder if they could even, because you wouldn't have to change uniforms or anything. I wonder if they were making these around the same time, could have just used same day shot those scenes if they were lucky enough to do that.
Yeah, same thing with Mark Alamo. Same thing. It's like, all right, Mark, we got 4 scenes for you in 4 different episodes.
Yeah. So overall, I just thought it was solid. Probably going to lean a lot on the patron takes for this one because it's just, I don't have a ton to say about the actual details, but overall, probably my favorite thing about it is that it just felt a little bit unique for a 2-parter. It felt like I understand why this was 2 parts. There was a lot of substance, a lot of stuff in here that I think worked well in a 2-part format, other than the Part 1 not really having any kind of cliffhanger and just more so being like, that's it, time's up, all right, continue it. So besides, I guess that you could consider a weakness, but outside of that, if this had aired as just, like, this is one that I could see just being a 90-minute episode and being a well-paced one. I think that was strong. I like how it was more of like a sci-fi, almost like a heist type episode with these artifacts and Picard and Riker going undercover. I liked all of that. Fun little note that I realized, he goes by Galen, which is the professor's name, his archaeological professor back in the Chase.
Okay.
Professor Galen. So that's cool, the little nod back to that. The Robin Curtis aspect, I'm sure we'll talk about, but yeah, that was interesting, and I thought she did well here. I also liked her in Search for Spock. I guess some people didn't, but I did also like her in Search for Spock, but I also obviously love that movie immensely. So
I think she was better here. Her performance was much better here. I just wish it could have been a reveal that actually was Saavik, because dumbasses like me wouldn't recognize her name, and it's like, that's fucking sad. I just peel off the eyebrow ridge.
Plus, you mentioned off camera after we watched it, because I had said during the reaction, like, oh, I get it, the movies take place 70 years ago or whatever, so you'd have to figure it out. But then you even brought up, well, Spock's in here because Vulcans age slowly, and she reveals herself to be a Vulcan. So they really wouldn't have to figure it out. Saavik could still very well be alive, so and be relatively the same age looks-wise. You could maybe age her a little bit because she still looks incredible. But yeah, odd choice. But overall, staying on what I liked about it, yeah, I thought it was a fun 2-parter, kind of like a nice, different type of genre, almost similar to what they try to do in The Chase with like a heist aspect, but I think done better here. And I thought all the guest actors and stuff were just fine. They were just serviceable. Also, we got the giant basketball player
Great performance as a Klingon. That was a good Klingon performance. Similar to the 2 Klingons that we saw in that Deep Space Nine episode.
Yes.
Those are solid Klingon performances, but I love this quiet Klingon. This fucking giant, just Worf looking up at him. And it makes sense. He's a basketball player, so you don't need to feed him a bunch of lines. Just it's funnier with just 1 or 2, and performance was great.
And him pouring out the blood wine
Yeah.
onto the carpet,
Oh.
which is like the one time where I'd kind of forgotten that TNG, because it was made in the late 80s, early 90s, is like all carpeted. Just the image of just this blood wine being poured on that, it's going to stain the carpet. I know they probably have futuristic dry cleaning and get it right out,
Yeah.
but it's just hilarious.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, how do they film this? Did they put a little tarp down there? Did they? Because they don't want to ruin the set.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
They put a little bag. I love, back to the episode. We are talking about the episode. I mean, back to plot points. I love anytime we get to see Picard or Riker, or really any of the crew, act as someone else. Seeing Picard act as his Galen character was absolutely hilarious. Just, this cocky character. To the point where I'm thinking, is this a Picard? Schlocky thinking, is this a Picard clone? Does he have an implant in his brain? Thing on the neck. And same thing with Riker too. I love his playing of his turning evil Riker, sort of. And I just love the idea of a captain on a ship, but all of his crew members, literally every single one, is only working for him because they have no choice. Now I'm sure there's been plenty of times where this guy was sleeping or something, where someone could have came in and fucking knocked him out and took the controller from him. But I like those dynamics. And everyone's saying, oh, you'd be a terrible captain. You're not a good captain. He's only captain because of this thing. Best ending in Star Trek. Best ending to an episode. It's perfect. It's the perfect button, the perfect use of Data and how you would take things.
It's perfect. Real quick before I forget, the basketball player was James Worthy. James Worthy was that actor. But yeah, perfect ending where they all kind of play into their levels of humor. Data not understanding humor really at all, especially dry humor. Riker, he has like a dry humor element, but he's very smiling and grinning the whole time, and then Picard is just straight up dry, plays it straight, and that's why Data thinks he's serious, because he's just plays it straight. And then Riker, Data, he was joking. It just Data's blank face. I love all of that.
Got to talk about Data, Captain Data. I mean, the guy's ready for the chair. Everything with Captain Data here was absolutely...
That's my favorite stuff.
Great stuff. I mean, we saw a bit of it in, was it Redemption 2? A little bit of Captain Data?
Oh, yeah,
right?
His subplot on the other ship?
Yeah. So, the guy can definitely do it, but adding in the element of Worf as a first officer, but not being really ready or prepared for that position, because, Worf is always spouting out, we should do this, we should do that, and Worf is very opinionated in himself, and would make comments, and then that perfect scene where Data, where they had a mirror scene of what Picard and Riker would have, where Picard's laying down the law to him, goes to leave, pulls him back in, calls him, Worf instead of Mr. Worf, or calls him Worf instead of a lieutenant, and they had a little squabble, and you pointed it out that he even does the little
Picard maneuver.
All that stuff was absolutely wonderful. And then that plays on to later, because I think, doesn't Data take Worf goes to make another suggestion, he bites his tongue, yes sir, and then Data takes up Worf's suggestion.
About the health and safety inspection, because he's like, we're allowed to bring in any ship we want, and he's like, yeah, but if he doesn't want us to, it'll look bad. And he's like, we can do health and safety inspections. And at first Data says no, and Worf's about to say something, but then holds back, calling back to the earlier scene, and then Data, well, actually, and then goes with it.
Good stuff.
And then after Worf leaves to go do it, Deanna even gives Data that little look where she doesn't read Data the same way she would Picard or Riker or anybody, because he has no emotions, but even still, just as who Deanna is, she can read the moment, and she is very self-aware. So
still a good counselor,
yeah. So all that stuff was great, and I said off camera, we talked obviously, I keep saying this, we did talk a good amount after the episode ended, because different clothes. We were talking about this the next day. We didn't have time, so we were talking about it a little bit while we were cleaning up. But, if they were able to somehow, whether it was a spin-off or just continue the show without Patrick Stewart and whoever else didn't want to do it, just somehow have a show where it's Data as the captain. Specifically if it was post TNG, maybe Picard becomes an admiral and Riker goes to another ship or whatever the case is, where it's still the Enterprise and it's Data captain with, Worf, Geordi, some of the other characters who haven't gotten as much screen time. That's like my ultimate fan, cast of like what a great show that would be, because it's not like it's a new show where you have to relearn all these characters. You're with the characters you already have loved for all these years, but now they get the spotlight. I love episode plots like that. As much as I love Picard and he's a great character, it's sometimes nice when he takes a little bit more of a back seat and we get to see these other characters.
Yeah, so basically The Office continuation after Michael left. But better, in your mind.
Yes. Although I will say that I defend those seasons of The Office a little bit more than most people. They're not as good as the rest of the show, but a lot of people think that like seasons 8 and 9 are horrific, and I don't think they are. However, the worst parts of them are when, like the Will Ferrell episodes or the episodes where they try to replace Michael with a newer character.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's better when we get to see the time with, Kelly and Creed and Andy and all those people. And we're going way off the rails here, but
yeah, don't fill the role. Spotlight the people you already have.
Yeah, exactly.
You build them out. Yeah, we talked about the not so good performance of Riker and Deanna in the very beginning, post-death.
Oh, yes, we talked about that too, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that on camera?
No, maybe.
That blurb at the end?
Yeah, maybe we did.
Okay. Because you're going to keep that blurb.
But we can bring it up again here.
Okay. Yeah, it was bad start. Bad start. I'm usually a defender of Jonathan Frakes' acting, and I love Marina Sirtis as well, but something during that scene felt off. Were they running late? Was it a rewrite? It just felt they didn't have the time to really sit with these words and mean them, or in their mind they're thinking the captain's not fucking dead. But it's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to know the behind the scenes on this stuff, because not that it would make an excuse. I mean, we've talked about it. No excuse. Whatever the product is, I'm going to judge what the product is. But I'd like to know, because at this late in the game and how good they are, it just didn't come off very genuine.
Yeah, and especially Jonathan Frakes. It felt like it came off more like a performance, like almost like at the beginning of Frame of Mind, where he was playing a crazy person in the opening scene. It came off like a performance like that, where I know that Riker would genuinely be hurt and everything by the captain's death, but it just came off, it wasn't the best. And then Deanna, Marina Sirtis, I think was better, and I bought her emotions because she's so great at like physical emoting, but her performance of like the actual scene, maybe it's because she was playing off of Frakes, and he was they were both just kind of a little too over the top, to where it was like, I understand you guys are both very intensely hurt about this, but let's be a little bit more realistic, because the best part of that scene is the ending, where he literally doesn't yell at her, but is kind of scolds her, and he's like, "That's enough, counselor." She literally turns, and half a second later, he's like, "Deanna," and then they have a real moment, and it's like, that real moment is better than that whole scene we saw. This is kind of nitpicky, but you know, it's just kind of like, let's make the whole scene like how that was at the end, when they're actually talking like how we know Riker and Deanna are, and not the beginning where they kind of felt like random characters.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the scene needed to be longer. I needed to see Riker sit in his grief a little bit more. Like, best of both worlds. My favorite part of that whole arc is Riker sitting with that self-doubt in himself, and him. I like to see him digest, holy shit, I'm going to be the captain now. But Picard's not, and him wrestle with that, where instead of just immediately, no, he's not dead, I refuse to accept that, but have that realization, holy shit, this whole thing I've been working for my entire life might come true, but oh my god, but Picard's dead. I love Picard. I don't want to see him dead. And maybe similar to the famous Marriage Story scene with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, like that famous one where they're yelling at each other, and they start at
it's a normal scene,
and they gave it time to build to that. This, it went from 0 to 100, and then a nice moment at the end. Maybe they didn't have the time, but I like to see that slow, gradual conversation build, the voices raise a little bit, and then finally, every day I hope you're fine, Dad.
yeah. That's a great example, because, I mean, we talk a lot about subtlety and about being too over the top, but there are ways to do it, and I think that scene in Marriage Story is a perfect example. I mean, it's kind of become a meme now of Adam Driver punching the wall, but it really is like a brilliant scene. If you just watch that one scene, you don't even have to watch the movie. I enjoy the movie, but if you don't want to watch it, just that one scene, they start...
It's my favorite horror movie. Sorry, go on.
It starts as just a normal conversation, and then it just rises and rises to the point where they're screaming at each other, and, he punches the wall, and it's like, by the end of that scene, if you just watch the last minute or two, which is why it's probably become a meme, is like, they're so over the top, like, so hyperbolic, and from what we've said we prefer in acting, we would say, oh, like, be more subtle. But it works in that scene because they start there and then they work their way in a believable fashion. They're also both great actors. But, in a great fashion. Here, it was almost like the reverse. Where, I guess they started normal for like the first 10 seconds and then it was right to, being super angry about it. And then they come back down at the end. Does that happen in real life? Sure. Like, do sometimes I get in an argument with my wife or other people where one thing, maybe something's affecting me and one thing sets you off and it causes a fight and then you come down? Like, yeah, that's also realistic. I think it's just a little tough to pull off.
Yeah, it is, especially with a show like this. You know what I mean, we're here for the drama and all that, but also there's a million other things going on in this episode. We gotta go.
Yeah, we've made jokes and people have made comments about how it's like, oh, we're pro wrestling fans, and like, oh, we love the soap opera. And it's like, yes, to an extent, but at the same time, the difference with something like this show is that they're all in Starfleet, and they have, like, this reserved nature where they've been through it. Like, they've been through the bonding. Like, they've been through situations where they have to accept death. It's not a soap opera where every time something happens, everyone's melodramatic and, like, knees on the floor, Kyle Paka dying, It's not that. That's why I like it. So it's weird to see it in a scene here where almost Picard dying, yes, it would affect everyone, but I almost don't believe Riker would be so, like, out of character about it. I think back to the bonding when he's just drinking in 10 Forward, we're really diving into this one scene. Can you tell we don't have a lot to say? but obviously we love breaking down the acting aspects and everything, but...
Yeah. What do you think about the lore of this Vulcan weapon in terms of this pretzel MacGuffin? This U-shaped,
Yeah, I enjoy it in like a B-story type thing, not subplot B-story, but like a over-the-top, goofy B-movie type thing. It's silly. It's kind of like, let's go gather all these artifacts, like they're, Infinity Stones, and then, but at the end, actually, it's a symbol of peace. It's a fine heist type story. It comes off a little goofy, and it wasn't made any better by as good as Robin Curtis was in this. Her. Shaking down with it, and like, testing it 3 or 4 times. Definitely the ending fell a little bit flat for me in that way.
Yeah, I'm glad, kind of a little button on Worf's little arc in this, because of how aggressive he is, I guess, about, we should do this, and then testing the peace weapon on him, and it's able to go through and right through him. That was nice, but
they didn't acknowledge that at all, besides like Picard looking at Worf for a second. This is one of those situations where I think actually expositional dialogue could have been nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm glad it left us with the smarts to be, okay. Because I think it respects us as an audience to know Worf's fucking, always the aggressor in almost any situation. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it went through Worf and was able to not affect him, instead of, you didn't call him it, or, I didn't need that.
But I think there's a fine line where between trusting your audience to where I think we're in this situation on the other side where you're giving the show credit that I don't even think they thought about it. I think that's the difference. It's like, I don't think this is, the audience will know that it makes sense for Worf because he's a Klingon and all this. I think they just didn't even think about that at all.
Didn't Raul Moore write this one, though?
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's a very fine line. I totally agree with your perspective. It's just a fine line to me where it's like one subtle, it didn't have to be, I know who tested the Klingon, but just one little thing of like, so I know that the show knows what I'm thinking about, so I don't have to just think, it's just me headcanoning this. It's actually what they're trying to do. Because there was zero difference between her doing it to Worf and her doing it to anybody else. So it's almost like, how do I know that they know that I'm thinking that? It's a very small thing. It doesn't take away from it, but it's just like, it could have even been like when he's explaining the thing about the peace, even for her to just immediately look over at Worf and just do it. Like, it doesn't have to be anything major, but I think there's a little bit there of like, yes, I want you to think I'm smart, but I also want you to give me the validation of where I can think it. They should do it to Worf, and then the show pays it off by doing it to Worf.
Okay. I mean, the fact that she chose to end on Worf is like, okay, this will definitely work. Do you think it needed, like, after all that was done, a little, like, Picard walking up to Worf and and then, a line from Worf? Well,
No. I don't think it should be...
Then what do you want?
Yeah, I know. What I'm asking for would be so subtle. Like, just one little thing. I mean, we do get Picard looking over at Worf, but maybe if it was just a little bit more pointed. Of, like, when he talks about the peace, and then he's like... Maybe when he says the line about suppressing your violent thoughts, like, maybe if he looked right at Worf and was like, suppress your violent thoughts, and then it just showed Worf instead of a wide shot. Like, something that subtle. But otherwise, maybe it's just my cynicism. I don't think the show meant it that way.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Okay.
It's just...
I want to give it the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure for the finale it was...
yeah, it was Ronald Moore wrote it, yeah.
It was? Okay. So yeah,
probably teleplay
Nairn
and
Shakar,
story.
Yeah, Norrin Shakar too, yeah. Story by and teleplay by Ronald Moore, yeah. So, I don't know. I trust him at this point, maybe. Oh, talk about... the beginning of part 2, I looked at you right away. When it ends with them shooting at the nacelle, and the immediate start to the second part. Oh, that didn't do any damage at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost would have been better if they did the to be continued like 30 seconds earlier before they got Riker's message. Because when Worf is like, he's sending over his codes, but he knows these would be changed, and Data, like, it clicks, and he's like, oh, he's not going to... And then they did the to be continued right after when they shoot them. It should have been before. It still wouldn't have been the best cliffhanger. But for Riker to be like, give them the message. Now, even that doesn't work. Because we already know Riker is not going to do it. There's really no salvaging it. It's just not a great cliffhanger. But that's fine.
They should have done the exact same thing as Best of Both Worlds, but with Data.
Where Data says fire?
The exact same thing. The same camera shot, with Mr. Worf. Fire.
Just the same exact to be continued.
That'd be
an homage to Best of Both Worlds.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit goofy, but it'd be funny. And I can understand, because I thought at the end of the part 1 on the Picard reveal that he's there. But would they think that's too similar to the fucking Descent ending, where the lore reveal, where they don't want to end on a reveal?
I think they just had too much to put in the episode for it to end that quickly. Because in part 1, after Picard is revealed, there's still like a whole bunch of exposition and stuff that comes after that before we get to the cliffhanger that they couldn't have fit. So I think it was just it truly feels like the story, even though they do switch the writers between part 1 and 2, it feels like it was written as a 90-minute episode that they just had to split up. That this more than any other two-parter, I feel like feels like that. In a good way mostly. But the one, I guess, weakness is that there's no... When you're writing a story, there isn't usually just a randomly natural cliffhanger right in the middle of your story. So you kind of have to force it in.
Yeah. I'm going to guess that this Robin Curtis in this is the daughter of Spock and Saavik from that cut thing from Star Trek 4, where they had a kid and she stayed behind with the kid, or stayed behind and she was pregnant. So that's my headcanon.
But I'm also still confused about Vulcan aging. So they age really slow, but is their childhood still only 18 years? Like, do they get to adulthood in 18 years and then just age slowly? Or... Yeah, I don't know, because like I don't think Spock... We've only seen Spock as a kid a couple of times. We saw him as a literal baby in Star Trek V. And then, obviously, Yesteryear, the animated episode.
Yep.
I'm wondering, like, how long was he a kid like that? Or do Vulcans just slow their growth once they reach maturity? I don't know. Because if they did have a kid, would it be old enough in 70 years? Yeah, 70 years, yeah, you could probably be at least in their 20s.
I think it depends on whatever the actor looks like.
I'm trying to get into the universe here.
Wow, Leonard, you look exactly the same as you did in the movies. Oh, well, that's how old I am.
Yeah. So this is where we hear from our patrons over on our Patreon what they think of the episode. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, we watched and recorded this weeks ago, so we're probably far ahead from this right now. If you want to jump in and get your takes in on some of these episodes and possibly be read in our video, go sign up so you can make sure to get in there before we already watch and record the video. And we did post the takes as 2 separate posts because I did not know it was a 2-parter, did not air together. So we're just going to start with the part 1 takes, and then we'll jump over to part 2. Joe Concepts, I've always found it funny just how good anyone in Starfleet seems to be when they're undercover. Sure, Picard knows a lot about acting, but in the real world, this kind of thing usually needs specialized training. One could argue they do get that training, especially since secret first contact missions are part of their jobs. Yeah, I think that's a fair... He kind of answered his own point there at the end. But that is fair, but it is funny. It's kind of, you have to suspend your disbelief. I brought that up a little bit in the Deanna episode, Face of the Enemy, where it's like, wow, she really got out of this tough situation she wasn't even prepared for, of pretending to be a Romulan. But it's plot armor. It is what it is.
Yeah, it makes sense that there would be first contact training, especially after the episode First Contact, they were down on that planet. And I just had a point. I forgot to point that out. I loved whenever someone like Riker and Picard beam aboard, and Worf and someone else are down there. I think Geordi was down there, and they're all looking, and none of them are stupid enough to go, "Oh, Picard, oh, it's you.
Oh, immediately,
It's like,
yeah.
no, I think all of them are perfectly trained when they see someone not in a regular situation, or especially Picard, not in his usual uniform and acting all weird. Let me say nothing. Let me just act as if I don't know what's going on. Because my dumb ass would be, oh, Picard's back. Who's Picard? Wait. And I would just blow the whole thing. Matthew McKinnon Gray pointed out, but Admiral Chakotay returns from the Circle, Deep Space Nine, and manages to be slightly less dumb. Good for him.
I did think it was funny how Riker's in charge, and his first interaction with an admiral, he actually gets his way, which you never see. It's like, I guess for all the shit we give Riker, maybe Starfleet brass does like him. That's why they keep trying to fucking promote him, even though he turns it down. They're like, come on, Will.
We don't want to fire you, but just take a fucking chair, please.
Also, I love the little comment Picard makes, I think it's in part 2 maybe, where he's like, it seems you keep coming after my job.
Yeah.
Long Hill Andy, Robin Curtis is back as Talera. In general, guys, how do you like seeing Star Trek alumni returning as guest characters? Yay or nay? I guess it depends on the execution. So yeah, true. I mean, we've seen Savick and David now in TNG as different characters. Because I have such a personal bias against recasting, I don't love to see it, unless it's like an extremely small role that they had before. So like Nurse Chapel, for example, not that big of a role in TOS. She's a named character. She's in a number of episodes. Not really that big of a deal. Her to come back as a Loxana Troy, at first it was weird, but overall I like it. But here, especially when you're able to, like bring her back in as Nurse Chapel probably wouldn't have worked. But like here, you could have made a story where she comes back as Savick. So like I don't like not doing that. David was killed. So bringing that actor back, okay. Like you killed him.
That's fine.
It's still a little weird, but you killed him. But bring back Savick, this is probably the biggest example where I'm disappointed that she was recast as something else. And then to make her a Vulcan again, when she was a Vulcan. It's like, come on.
Not only a Vulcan, but a Vulcan isolationist who didn't want any interaction with outside species. And if, like, that original plot line, if it was Savick in Star Trek 6 instead of fucking whoever she was, which is not the same exact storyline, but, she didn't want anything, those people didn't want anything to do with the Klingons. It's almost similar to the same thing, where that could have been really cool. If maybe it's or Savick's kid, do the whole Denise Crosby thing, or like, oh, because of outside interference, my mother was killed, and just write something. Why?
I had her killed. The same exact story.
Yeah. Or maybe a species that Vulcans were working with, maybe Romulans or something. I don't know, and could have been a neat story. I realize that it might be a bit much to always call back to older characters, but one a season, not the worst.
Do you think it also could have been a factor that Savick herself is a recast? Because in Wrath of Khan, which is mainstream-wise the much more popular film than Search for Spock, Kirstie Alley is Savick. Robin Curtis plays her in Search for Spock. So maybe could that have played into, if they had brought her back as Savick, maybe there's people out there who were more familiar with Wrath of Khan that would have been like, that's not Savick, or, oh, that's the actress who they recast in the next film. That's kind of weird they used her. By this point, Kirstie Alley would have been very famous because of Cheers, so obviously they wouldn't have brought her in, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Plus, isn't this around the golden age where you can just recast someone and no one noticed?
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but Star Trek has set a pretty high bar.
Star Trek has set a pretty high bar, but...
I mean, Savick is basically the one notable recast, and it's in the films, where in a film, recasting is, slightly more forgivable, in my opinion. But here, in a TV show, they've done so extraordinarily well with keeping the actors to their cast, unless, in situations like the David character. But just in the show, I really can't think of any situation where they brought back a character and recast them, or reused a named actual character as somebody else. Like, obviously you have, Kalar, Dr. Solar is both Susie Plaxkin, but like, Dr. Solar has been named more in the show than she was on screen, so it wasn't a huge recast.
Yeah, even minor characters in Star Trek, shipping a bottle guy.
Yeah, Moriarty.
They could have easily just casted someone else, or even smaller than that. The Einstein fucking holodeck person.
Oh, Jim Norton is Einstein.
Yeah, it's like even like the respect of that continuity is insane. So I appreciate them not doing that. But anyway, you had the actor.
Yeah,
and plus it's the most current one.
Yeah,
it'd be weird to go back to Kirstie Alley.
True that also. Yeah.
Unless it's something, I don't know, in Star Wars, Benjamin Bratt was recently cast as Bail Organa in Andor because Jimmy Smits, the original actor, wasn't available. He was doing something else. And Jimmy Smits has been Bail Organa like 4 or 5 times now. And so to go back to him, that'd be forgivable because he's done it 5 or 6 times. Just this other actor stepped in for him once. But with this, they're 1-1. They're both even. So I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I agree. But on the whole, to answer the question, if you're going to bring back an actor, I prefer it to be in there what they did before. But at the end of the day, is it cool that Robin Curtis did this? Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer to play the original character. Can you imagine if they brought back the guy, Roger C. Carmel, and they brought him back, but they didn't make him Harry Mudd? I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, I think he had already passed away by this point.
That's too bad.
Yeah, 1986.
Oh, damn.
So he passed away right before TNG started.
Yeah, R.I.P. Shit.
Could have used him in any of the movies, though. Don't know why they didn't. But anyway.
Yeah, one of the most iconic. Just a villain in one movie? Or just like maybe not the main villain, but like a little side villain that Kirk goes to get advice from or something?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Or, I mean, 100%. Or even like in A Search for Spock. Well, I love that movie so much, I don't know if I want to change it. But something where Kirk's going against the book, he needs some advice, he goes to Harry Mudd. What are we talking about? Anyway, we're talking about this two-parter.
Or, I mean, it wasn't alive at this point, but if Harry Mudd was the one, instead of the female Vulcan from
In Star Trek 6, if it was just Harry Mudd?
Yeah, if Harry Mudd just emerges from the dark. It was me, Kirk!
Yeah, he wasn't in the entire movie, and then he just shows up at that scene.
Could you fucking imagine?
I mean, yeah, I would have lost my mind. Wouldn't have made any sense.
They would have spoiled it in the opening credits, though.
Oh, yeah. But would you have known the name?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I mean, it's Harry Mudd. I mean, I love Search for Spock, but I wasn't actively thinking about Savick. I'm always thinking about Harry Mudd.
They'd probably put in the credits anyway, Roger C. Carmel as Harry Mudd, so it would just give it away.
Oh my God. Could you...
Just triggering you. Something that didn't even happen.
But if he was alive...
And then the whole movie, we would have been like, where the fuck is he? and then he shows up. Halfway through the whole plot, we would have been like, wait, what if it's Harry Mudd? We would have been saying it as a joke. I gotta say, there's definitely some people who don't like this at all.
Yeah.
Coberin says, words alone cannot describe how pointless and absolutely stupid I think this episode is. F tier.
F tier?
Which doesn't even exist, but yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, F tier, which means if you were to actually rate it in a poll, we'd put a C.
So C tier.
C tier. I mean, there's nothing egregiously bad about this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, at no point was I...
That's the thing.
There's a lot of good stuff in this.
Yeah, like I'm looking through it, and people who don't like it are kind of just saying stuff like that. Where I mean, he said words alone can't describe. I wish he would have described because I don't know what about the episode people don't really like. But it's like, okay, Aramis Calcut here. I hate the charade. It just comes off like bad vaudeville. Okay.
I love it when Picard gets to play a little role. It's great. And also, on another note, I bit on the falsie. I totally believed Robin Curtis about, she's working to find these isolationists. And then when, I think Riker calls the Vulcan guy, and he's like, I know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, fuck it. She was lying.
Let's see if we can get any more clarity in the part 2 takes.
So stupid. Now, you might think, I'll come with this nice paragraph of all these interesting details, and my patron take will get read. But, Elway Simpson, basketball players are pretty tall, aren't they? Yeah. Yep.
Captain JZH says, overall it's pretty lame, but Data escorting Riker to the brig is a top-tier joke. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, even if you don't like the episode, I think you have to love that ending. I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it was perfect. And X-01, that ultimate weapon is probably the lamest weapon in all of Trek. I was expecting a big fucking weapon, like a big, big, I don't know, not bigger than a cannon. I don't know. I'm thinking of like the World Engine from Man of Steel or something. I don't know, something larger where it points at an entire civilization and just not this little horseshoe. Wait, Tyrannus fan. The main villain was distracting because I remembered him from the original Battlestar Galactica. It's good to see Robin Curtis. I know he's seen from. Who do they play in Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, it looks like he played a character named Wolf. on a two-parter, The Gun on Ice Planet Zero, and I don't even remember. Is that the one with the Suicide Squad-esque criminals and the Cylons walking around the snow? Is it that episode? It's ironic because he's in a two-parter here, and The Gun on Ice Planet Zero was the OG Part 1 stretching out with literally them looking up in the snow and the Cylons circling. We laughed so hard at that.
Oh, look at this. Better watch Trek. The Data-Worf interaction reminds us all why we should have gotten an 8th and 9th season.
Yeah.
Probably under the same way that your idea.
And, I'll say overall, even though some patrons here aren't too hot on this one, I think this is the first episode of the season I liked. I mean, it's a two-parter, but I didn't care for any of the first three. The stuff I liked in some of them, but overall, this is the first one that I even liked. So if this was season 7, like not really huge character progression or anything, but just the characters in their final form in season 7, put them in fun scenarios we haven't seen before. I'm down for that. But the first couple episodes were trying to be that, and were just not executed well, really. So. I don't know. Shane Coombs, here's a take I think I agree with. Overall, this winds up being not the best two-part episode so far, but I think it may be the most even across the two parts. While some other two-part episodes had one episode clearly stronger than the other, often with the better episode really elevating the overall package to a place people remember it, here we get two parts which are both about the same pretty good B-tier quality. I think that's about 100% what I think. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking of both parts and none. I can think of one being higher than the other. They're both, like you said, it just feels like one episode stretched out over two.
Yeah, and they don't really have like a story that's contained in one of the parts. Like it kind of just stretches out over them, overall, I liked it.
Yeah, stretched in the sense that it's two, but not stretched in the sense that it didn't have enough to fill the gaps. Like it just feels as if it's the same episode.
Like it's a 90-minute story.
Yeah, like a 90-minute story, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sucked.